Hello, John Morrison here. I've got a radio I've been working on. This is a 1930s RCA Victor. I think it's a 9K3 model. And this was given to me by a real nice couple, Tom and Suzanne. It was in pretty beat up shape, as you can tell from the earlier photos. But this has been one of the most fun little restoration projects I've ever done. I've wanted one of these things most of my adult life, but I could never find one, or I couldn't afford it if I found it. But so I want to show you a close-up some of the details of the radio and just see what you think about that. Okay, one of the great things about this old radio, I wasn't actually able to save or use the original radio, but so I had to put a new radio in it for it to be an actual radio. But I was able to save the dial. Now we're going to turn the unit on. The on-off switch was still functional, so I was able to use that to turn the machine on and off. This dial does nothing. I don't know if you can tell, but the dial still works as far as, you know, presentation. So that's pretty cool. And this switch right here changes the band that you're listening to, and then this does nothing. So anyway, obviously the radio was originally wood tones, and because I couldn't save the veneer, I just sanded down past the veneer and painted it black. So we got satin black on the sides and then gloss black in the center. And then I had to make my own screen that would incorporate a little silver color into it to tie it all together. But anyway, let me show you the radio that we're actually listening to right now. Okay, so here is the real actual functioning radio on the Victor. This is a very modern, recently released radio by Pyle. One of the things I like about it is all the inputs that it has. I'm playing off of a flash drive right now. You can also use a memory card. You've got inputs for microphones, so you can do karaoke, and you've got volume controls for that. And so as far as input, besides being a radio, you can use the flash drive or memory card. And beyond that, you can still plug in your VCR, your anything into this and use it as part of your sound system if you want. Originally I was going to make a little cover for this, and then my wife suggested a little glass door, which I thought was perfect, but now that I've finished it, I don't know that I can add that to it. I have to find just the right hinge, but it's in my mind. I'm thinking about it. Okay, one thing about the image you're seeing, the light in the dial here is really a very low light, but for some reason my camera is reading it as bright, and it just doesn't look the same. There's a lot more detail. I might even zoom in closer and see what happens. However, you'll notice that the dialing knob, this is fine tuning and this is for a faster travel past the dial, still works and just gives the radio a very authentic look. And this knob right here changes the band that you're registering or focusing in on. So that's pretty cool. And then this little blinky light up here, I put a blinking light in there to give it, you know, just the tiniest bit of a mad scientist feel. But anyway, this is just a really pretty radio. Okay, we're going to look at the back of it now. Okay, now we're going to turn it around and look at the back side. So I figured black on the outside, rock and roll red on the inside. So here's our new radio, and this is part of the frame of the old radio, which I had to cut the frame out to make room for this to drop in. And I tell you, finding a radio small enough to fit in here that also had some good watts was a long search. But anyway, we found something that worked. And this little knob right here is to turn lights on the speakers. Some people like that. I don't know. I couldn't make up my mind, so I just decided to go ahead and include it. We'll demonstrate that right now. Okay, I turned the lights off. We're still getting a lot of light from the windows, but I wanted to show you the speaker area down here. I've got two speakers. One is tilted one way, one is tilted the other to get some separation, taking the tip from Bose. But I've got a switch back here that if I want, I can turn on the lights so you can see the speakers. And it's got a variable control so that you can knock it down if you want to see it, but not quite as bright. So anyway, that's just a fun thing about it. Another little side note, we're using the original plug, but I found this cool company, I think it's called Color Cord Company, and they have these fabric colored cords, and they've got a really neat collection of colors and patterns. So if you've got an old lamp or something that you want to restore, these guys have some neat stuff. Well, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project. You know, people that do restoration and things like that, if they're a purist, you never change the original. You always restore an item back to its original condition. But when you're not able to do so, I enjoy going the other way and putting sort of a contemporary spin on the project. It's a neat little contrast. But one of my favorite things to do is restoration projects of this sort, and there are several other projects that I'm working on. One is another 1927 radio cabinet that I'm planning to convert into an aquarium, and so keep an eye out for that. I love to do these kinds of projects, many of them for sale, but this one This one I want to hang on to for a while. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Y'all take care.